Alain Delon, theater and film actor, screenwriter, director, producer. The first real success came to him after the release of the film In the Bright Sun. When it comes to Alain Delon, the first thing that comes to mind in conversation is his beauty and sexuality. He is really attractive. How many women dreamed of drowning in his bottomless look of blue eyes? He wasn't called a sex symbol for nothing. He has retained that title for over 3 decades. Even now, when he is already over 80, his look beckons and mesmerizes. But still, the main thing that brought him to the top of popularity is talent. He played almost 100 images in the movie, each of which is remembered for a long time. He has almost no awards in cinematographic awards, unless you count the César, the French equivalent of the Oscar, but it did not prevent Delon to gain worldwide popularity and win the people's love. Born Alain Fabien Maurice Marcel Delon, that's how the full name of the artist, November 8, 1935, in a small suburb of the capital of France called Sceaux, in the family of Corsican Fabien Delon and Edith Arnold. His father had his own movie theater, his mother was educated pharmacist, but worked as a controller in the same cinema hall. Alain's childhood years were in the town of Bourg-la-Reine. Family happiness lasted a short time. The boy was barely 3 years old when his parents separated. Alain stayed to live with his mother. Each of the spouses subsequently settled their personal lives. A year later, Edith brought into the house stepfather. He was Paul Boulogne, who owned a large and profitable butcher store. Now Edith works in this store, and spends a lot of time at work. In order not to leave his son without supervision, he finds a foster family, and the boy moves into the house of the couple Nero. In this family he lived for several years, but for the rest of his life has kept warm memories of them. Spouses Nero treated him as their own son. Back to his mother, Delon returned only after his adoptive parents died. At school, Alain constantly showed his violent temperament, often pranked and almost never did the lessons. He was systematically expelled. The guy changed one school after another, until he was finally thrown out for unworthy behavior and chronic underachievement. Then his stepfather took over his education. He taught the boy how to handle knives and axes, and he liked it much better than studying at school. The young man began his labor biography by working in his stepfather's butcher shop. At the age of 17, the guy decided to change his life abruptly, and signed a contract to serve in the army. Delon was in the paratroopers, which were stationed in Indochina. Years of the army was not in vain. Alain returned home more organized and responsible. In 1956, Delon decided to move to Paris. He finds a job as a waiter and in parallel visits the movie auditions, hoping to get a job on the set. Once Delon managed to attract the attention of Harry Wilson, a manager from the U.S., who worked for James Dean. It was he who offered the guy a job in Hollywood. Alain had already started to pack for the long haul, but listened to the opinion of director Yves Allègre, who convinced him to stay at home and build a career in tandem with French filmmakers. Films. The start of the creative biography of Alain Delon came in 1957. He made his debut in the film When a Woman Interferes. Following this came tape Be Beautiful and Silent, in which he again received a supporting role. However, the success of these tapes did not enjoy. Delon continued to shoot. With his participation comes out the movie Weak Women, Christine, Road Schoolboys, and again his name went unnoticed. External data: Delon, height of 177 centimeters, a harmonious figure and correct facial features, contributed to the constant employment in the movie industry. But his screen work was limited exclusively to the images of frivolous handsome. A few years later, he will be called a model of male beauty, and while the cuteness and external attractiveness only prevented to achieve fame and popularity. Only in 1960, when the screens came out, The Detective, In the Bright Sun, about Delon spoke to the public and critics. Emboldened by success, the actor goes to Italy, where he was offered to work in the films Eclipse, Rocco and His Brothers, The Leopard. Thanks to these tapes, viewers saw not only the external beauty of the artist, but also appreciated his acting skills. Interestingly, and the fact that the artist, who has no specialized education, will become a subject for imitation for students of theater universities. In the 60s, Delon still managed to break out of the established role of suffering handsome, and show his talents in the comedy genre. He starred in the film Black Tulip, in the form of Julian, and in the comedy project, Joy of Life, where he reincarnated in Ulysses Cecchinato. Viewers and critics appreciated his work. The picture, Melody from the Basement, in which Delon starred in a pair with Jean Gabin, even nominated for the Golden Globe. The success of this tape was reinforced by an invitation to Hollywood. Delon decided to shoot in the American movie, but these pictures did not bring him much success. They were a few: The Missing Squad, Born a Thief, Texas by the River, Is Paris Burning, but they passed somehow unnoticed and did not add Delon popularity. The actor again returns to his homeland and begins shooting in the film Samurai. This tape is recognized as a classic. In 1969, Alain received an invitation from director Jacques Deer and starred in his film Swimming Pool. His hero, writer Jean-Paul Leroy, becomes a killer of his buddy, and tries to ward off suspicion of the police. The role of Marianne got Romy Schneider, with whom Delon tied romantic relations. In the 70-80s, the popularity of Delon is constantly growing. He shoots a lot, and, moreover, now he is called to a variety of projects. They differed not only in genre, but also in the degree of popularity and the level of quality. Failed 2 projects, Transition and Scorpion; successful, Airport, 79, Zorro, Do Not Wake the Sleeping Policeman. Invited Delon and on the set of the cult film Tehran, 43, where he had the opportunity to become a police inspector Georges Foch. But the most notable work of the time was the tape Our Story, where the hero Delon, alcoholic Robert Avranches. It was this role brought him an honorary award, the César Award, as the Best Actor of the Year. In the new century, Delon almost disappeared from the screens. In 2008, he was called to shoot the movie Asterix at the Olympics, where the artist appeared in the role of Julius Caesar. In 2012, the sex symbol of the 20th century took part in the creation of the Russian project Happy New Year, Moms, which was the last in the creative biography of Delon. Music. Not only beauty and acting talent have become a calling card of Delon. He has a beautiful baritone, which the audience first heard in 1967, during the performance of lyrical composition Letitia. This song became the musical accompaniment of the film Adventurers, where Alain himself was filmed. 5 years later, Alain Delon and singer Dalida recorded the composition Paroles, Paroles, which had previously sounded in the performance of Mina and Alberto Lupo. It was this new interpretation that brought the song to the level of world hits, and its title, which sounds in translation as words, words, became the most frequently used expression. In the 80s, Delon recorded 3 more songs. In 1983, the actor and singer Shirley Bassey sang a duet composition, Thought LD Ring You. 2 years later sounded the song, I Don't Know, which Delon recorded with Phyllis Nelson. 2 years later, in 1987, the actor performed with a solo composition, Como Cinema. The last 2 have gained great popularity. Personal life. The first serious relationship began at Delon with the Austrian actress Romy Schneider. Their acquaintance occurred on the set of the film Christine. Engagement took place in 1959, and for 6 years they were in the status of bride and groom. However, the official registration of relations was not. Delon has always been a favorite with women, so in his personal life happened a lot of novels. Some of them were long, some of them, as with Krista Pevchin, can be attributed to the category of fleeting. In 1962, the singer had a son Christian Aaron, but the artist never recognized the boy as his child. Although brought up his parents Delon and even recorded it under his surname. The first time Delon officially married in 1964, the actress Natalie Barthélemy. Soon the couple became the parents of a son Anthony, who continued the family dynasty of actors. They lived together for 4 years and separated. Anthony gave Delon granddaughter, Alison Loborga, who became famous as a model, advertising the brand Intimissimi. In 1968, during the filming of the movie Jeff, Delon met actress Mireille d'Arc. They were not bound by the bonds of legal marriage, but it did not prevent them from living together for 15 happy years. This civil marriage lasted longer than all other relationships in the life of the artist. After the separation, the former spouses retained friendly relations. In 1987, in the personal life of the artist appeared in the Dutch model Rosalie van Bremen, who became his next civilian wife. In this union Delon had a daughter Anoushka and son Alain, Fabien Delon. After 10 years and this relationship ended. Now the popular artist is in the status of a bachelor. Now Alain Delon owns 2 of his own movie studios and a popular brand AD. He is engaged in the release of classic men's clothing, glasses, watches, perfumes. His perfumes Iquitos, Samurai, Lyra, are the most popular. Alain Delon today. For 5 years, Delon was not seen on the screen. In 2017, he announced his departure from filmmaking. The reason lies in the fact that the artist switched to theatrical activity. He is more interested in live communication with the hall. His farewell work in the movie should be a picture, which was conceived by director Patrice Lecomte. He will shoot together with actress Juliette Binoche. Currently, Alain Delon serves in the Theatre Buff, Parisien, cooperation with which lasts for many years. Together with the star father on the stage of this theatre goes and his daughter Anoushka. In 2019, Alain suffered a stroke, although the press carefully called only signs of a serious disease, migraines, dizziness and arrhythmia. An operation was made and for 3 weeks doctors fought for the life and health of the movie legend. And a short time after recovery, the actor suddenly began to talk about death. The star began to express a desire to die of euthanasia, considering this method the most optimal, painless. Alain Delon said, "Surely I can say that I will leave this world without pity. I will not be sorry to leave." The actor himself, apparently, has already decided everything for himself. As it turned out, the Frenchman has already thought of everything, even prepared a place for a family crypt in the chapel. According to the relatives of Alain Delon, the right moment has not yet come, but they cannot exclude the saddest development of events. We among his fans hope that the moment of meeting the actor with death will be delayed for a long time.
Friends, I will be very pleased if you subscribe to my channel. I will do my best to make it interesting for you to watch my videos. You can let me know what you would like to watch from the world of show business. I will be grateful for your attention.